Hello, today I'm going to get into the CADArtifex bookwork, and I'm going to walk through tutorial 1. So if we look at this, it says to draw a sketch of the model shown in the figure. The dimensions in the model shown in the figure are for your reference only. All dimensions are in millimeters. So we're going to jump into Fusion 360, and I'm going to walk through how to create this. We are just making the sketch, not the extruded part. We'll kind of get into that later, but right now we're just taking baby steps, getting into Fusion for the first time. If you haven't already, make sure and look through the book and the PowerPoint slides, and that will walk you through all these steps, but I'll do it also just so that you can see it in video form. So again, we're doing CADArtifex made this book, a power guide for beginners and intermediate users. We're working out of the 6th edition. So try and follow along. So as I jump into Fusion, if you don't have this view on the left here, you can click the little waffle thing. It's a data panel. And I have created some folders to kind of organize my stuff. So I have all these different projects going on, different classes I teach or different personal projects, whatever. I have this classes one. I can pin that so it stays towards the top. I can unpin other ones. In the classes, I've created a folder called CAD-CAM because this is a CAD-CAM class. And I have a few folders in there. I recommend that you do a similar thing. You make maybe a CAD-CAM, and you just have that in your main data folder here and pin it. But maybe make a main CAD-CAM class and help yourself keep organized. So we have the new folder, and you can create that and make some folders, get yourself organized, and as you do the assignments and do the test drives, you can create like a folder for each of those. So I'm going to do this tutorial files. I'm going to create a new folder for that, and then I'm going to make a new folder called chapter 2 because we're going to have a few tutorials in chapter 2, and there's going to be several test drives as well. So as I click into here, this is where I'm going to start saving files. So that's just a little bit about the file structure. Closing out of that, your view may or may not look like mine. You might have the layout grid on. You might have some other things. Make sure you go through chapter 1 to familiarize yourself with the overall layout of Fusion 360. We're going to be living in the design space for a while, but eventually we'll move over to the manufacturer space sometimes when we want to actually create things with machines. So right now we're going to stay in the design space, and I'm going to go ahead and save this file just to get it saved in the right place. Since that's the last location I was at, it's automatically going to the right folder, but I could also change that here and find my structure there. So I'm going to call this, I'm just going to abbreviate chapter 2. TU2 or TU1 means tutorial 1, and save that. So what are we trying to do? We are trying to make this picture. So I will just go in to making this. So keep this little picture up in the corner so that you can see what's going on, just to remind you. So I'm going to start by creating a sketch, and it brings up these different planes. So if I hover over this one, you can kind of see it has that grid to kind of help align the, show where it's going to do. Since the picture is like kind of in the flat, the green red or XY plane if you're defining it that way, I'm going to go ahead and define that this way. It helps to just kind of like try and do it in the same orientation that the model that you're supposed to create is. And later when it comes to doing machines and creating things to machine, you can redefine planes later, but it's kind of nice if you do it in the way that it's going to be cut out in the plasma CNC or milled in the CNC mill or router. So I'm going to select this plane. Now, it does say that all measurements are in millimeters. I actually generally default to inches, so I will change that to millimeters. And you may want to go ahead and set it as the default for these assignments since they're all going to be in millimeters. So I'll go ahead and do that for now. So I am going to start with the line tool. I could do lines or rectangles to make the shape. I'm going to do the line tool. And I don't actually have a screen where I have the picture up like you see. So I'll try and stay away from that top right corner to make sure it doesn't get covered up, or bottom right. But we'll start here. So it's always a good idea to start your shapes at the origin. That's like where the axes come together. Mine doesn't really show the axes because I have that turned off. I actually forget where that is. It's just not something I worry about usually. It might be in one of these options, but you can, I have that turned off. So I'm gonna just start at the axis though, it still shows that. And I'm gonna come upward. And how far do I go? I actually have no measurement for the left side there. I'm gonna start out on the left. So I guess I just won't put anything. And then I'm gonna come over, looks like 20 millimeters. So I'm just gonna type 20 and then make sure that it is perpendicular there. Come down some number, I don't know. Come over 15, come up some number, I don't know. It looks like 8 though, but I'll just do that. Come over 30, come down. This is going to be 8. Over 15, up some number, over 20. Now I'm not getting too carried away about where I don't have measurements or where I do have measurements because I can put those in later. So this is going to be 20, click there, and then it looks like this connects back to here. Now that looks wrong because I don't have, this line is supposed to be horizontal, but I can fix that. So I'm going to drag dimensions to places where they're kind of out of the way. Maybe I'll make them look like the image. So notice that some of these lines are black and some of them are blue. If you have blue lines, that means they're not fully defined yet. So it'd be nice if, or constrained yet, rather. So it'd be nice if we could get everything constrained fully. So there's a few things. This is 8, right? And I'm going to go based on appearances that this line is supposed to be in line with this one. Or actually, I'll tackle this one first. This one is supposed to be horizontal. Okay, so up here at the top of the screen are constraints. So we have horizontal, vertical. That's the one we're going to do now. So it'll either lock it in to horizontal or vertical, depending on whichever is closer to the current alignment, as it says. So I'll click on that, and then that locks that down. That looks way better already. Okay. Now, I can also, by the way, I hit escape when I have some of these tools up, and it just clears that out. I also know that these lines are supposed to be in line with each other. There's 2 ways, well, probably the better way to do that is to add the collinear constraint. So this is to make 2 lines be in line with each other. That is the definition of collinear. And see, blue stuff I can drag and move, black stuff I can't. Okay, so we're getting more stuff black, and we like that. We like fully defined drawings whenever possible. So now we have this 13 millimeter stretch in here. This is actually supposed to be lower than this, right? And it looks like this line here and this line up here are also supposed to be collinear, so that helps. And then this distance is supposed to be like that. This distance is supposed to be 13, as we can see out here. So I'll do that right here, and I should probably explain how I just did that. I pressed the D key, or you can press the dimension key up here. So click on that, click on the line that you want, and then type your dimension, hit enter. And then now it looks like everything is fully defined. I actually have my measurements pretty much in the same place they do. Just that helps just to space things out. Oh, I guess I didn't say that the overall thing is 100, which it all adds up. So this isn't necessary. In fact, when I click on that, it comes up with this error. This dimension would overconstrain the sketch. Create a driven dimension instead. What that is saying that that's extra information. You can't lock things down too many different ways, because then if there's a conflict, it won't know which to change. So it is in parentheses here. That is a driven dimension. That means that if I change one of these to say 20, it will automatically update that based on the other one. But if I had that one locked in at 100 before having this one here, now I could change that to, when I delete that dimension, I could probably also delete this one and then redimension this, and I could force that to be 100 here. So now if I click this one, it's a driven dimension. So one of these has to be that, because you're doubling up on information. But if you haven't doubled up on information, then everything can be defined fully in that way. So we have 13, 20, 20, 8, 15, 15, 30, 20, and 100. So we have all the dimensions in there. Everything is black. That makes me happy, because then whenever I update something, it will automatically update everything else to fit that too. So fully defined is good. Having all your lines black, everything black is good. And we have this kind of like bluish shape here too in the middle. That means that that area is fully surrounded. So then you can go and do your next step, where if we were to go on with this, I could click Finish Sketch. I'm getting ahead of the tutorials, but I can extrude this up and we end up with that shape. Now, apparently when I created my original image, I did get rotated, and so my home view, this is showing backwards from that, but I could also just rotate my view with the view cube or middle mouse scroll wheel. I'm clicking with shift it orbits. So that is that shape. You can see it looks kind of like a funky E, and that is tutorial number 1. So with that under your belt, hopefully you were able to follow along. If I went too fast, let me know, and I can show some other stuff, or you can read through the PowerPoint or textbook, and then you can hopefully recreate it yourself. So go ahead and give the first test drive, the first assignment, a try.